What is going on, everybody? I am Mike Somich for RacingDudes.com, coming back at you with some Belmont Stakes Contenders capsules, and I was lucky enough to draw the one and only Kentucky Derby winner, Rich Strike. So let's talk a little bit about Rich Strike. Obviously, a huge upset in the Derby, winning at 80-1, getting an absolutely wonderful ride by Sonny Leone. Had a hot pace up front, the fastest opening half mile in Derby history. Sonny Leone was able to ride the rail, make a nice move, get up and get around the fading Messier, and then get by Epicenter down the lane to be able to get the victory. Let's talk a little bit about how he got to that Kentucky Derby, though, because I think that's a big part of how you may or may not want to play him come Belmont. So he debuted at Ellis Park, ran a mile on the turf, came back at Churchill Downs, broke his maiden name, was claimed out of that race in a $30,000 maiden claimer where he got a buyer of 65 going over that Churchill Downs dirt. Then comes back an $80,000 allowance, runs third, comes back at Fairgrounds, runs in the Gun Runner, loses to Epicenter by 14 lengths, then runs 3 times at Turfway Park, slightly improving with each one of those starts, capping it off with a Jeff Ruby Stakes where he runs third and gets an 84 buyer, which at the time was his career best buyer. Now, that's over synthetic. His best buyer over the dirt before the Derby was that 65 at Churchill, where he ran and was able to break his maiden. Now, why is that so important? Well, he ran a 101 in the Derby, an absolutely monster number compared to everything else that you've seen. And you got 80-1 in the Derby, so you got the price where that outcome was actually worth the amount that you were able to pay for the win bet. Now we're coming back here in the Belmont, and we've got a little bit bigger of a question mark in my mind. So first off, let's talk about what his price is going to be, because that's a big part of why you bet horses. He's going to come back between 3 and 4-1 on Belmont Day. A lot of that money that poured in on him, the people that won at 80-1, is going to come right back. We saw that at the Preakness, where every one of the Longshots was bet down, and that you didn't have anybody go off over a 20-1 number, even though you probably should have had a couple horses that were close to 50-1 in the Preakness. A lot of that Rich Strike money is going to come back, and it's going to pour right back in on Rich Strike. So you've got to ask yourself, do I think that last Derby effort is going to get replicated? And if I do I believe 3-1 is the right price to be able to bet him if it gets replicated? In my case, I'm going to go with no in both of them. First off, when you look at that Kentucky Derby, a lot of what he was able to do was pace dependent. He was able to run down a fast pace, but the last quarter mile from everyone up front was wildly slow. He went in sub 25. No one else was sub 25 for that last quarter of a mile. So he was able to take advantage of some very, very tired horses going a mile and a quarter because of how fast they went up front. Secondly, if you look at his main rival, or one of his main rivals here from a betting perspective, Mo Donegal, and you compare the two trips, they were side by side in the backstretch. Mo Donegal went, I believe it was 8 or 9 wide around that far turn, while Sonny Leone saved all the ground. In a smaller field, you're not going to have that large of a discrepancy, and Mo Donegal didn't miss by that much and lost momentum by going that wide. So you're taking a significantly worse price on a horse that is going to be in a significantly worse position, who is coming off a career best effort that has no validity when you look back at the past performances. So all of that being said, Rich Strike, wonderful story, amazing outcome in the Derby. It's awesome that he won at 80-1, absolutely crazy. I don't have any interest here at 3 or 4-1, and that's my biggest issue with Rich Strike in this spot. I'm not going to use him on top. If he wins, I lose. I may use him in the third spot in the try, something like that. But for me, Rich Strike is not a win contender in this year's Belmont Stakes. Thank you very much for watching this Belmont Stakes capsule for Rich Strike. Make sure you check out the YouTube page for Racing Dudes for all the different contender capsules that we're going to have for everyone running in the Belmont Stakes. And make sure you subscribe so that anytime we go live, you know about it. Good luck at the races.